You're going to sit on the microphone.
I have Colton Hurd as a cell phone, and so far it's 15 minutes disabled. So I just keep putting in the wrong passcode, so I'm aiming to have him like locked out of his phone for like 3 hours.
Did you put your microphone on?
Let's
put that on. Now you hear me.
I could hear you before, and they could too, but it just helps for the recorders.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
you're back for another year. You're a little older, a little wiser, a little more experienced.
Yeah, 25 now, man. It's pretty much downhill from here. So
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't remember 45, let alone 35 or 25. So what kind of optimism do you have? The team's a little bigger. Your debriefings are going to last a little bit longer.
They already last way too long, so we're excited for that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it'll be really good. Obviously, having Colton in there full time and all of our debriefs will be really helpful. And I think, yeah, we're just really excited. So last year was terrible, so we've forgotten about that already, and we're ready to move on and have a much better year.
Where did you feel like the weekend was going really well? Where was your best race, results aside?
I mean, overall, like the Indy 500 was really good for us until that crash with Graham and Bourdais, because there's just nothing we could do, because Felix and I were like 3 cars behind the incident, so we basically just drove straight into it. But that was going to be a pretty good day for us. So, I mean, I think the main thing is just get back to having fun, enjoying it. I think last year we took everything a little too serious, put a little too much pressure on it, and just, it wasn't natural. Everything was forced, and that was the problem. So, have a new engineer this year, a younger guy who was really successful in Indy Lights with Pato. Really enjoy him. His name's Mark Bryant. So we're on a really good page. We click really well, so we're excited to see how the next couple of days go.
It's interesting that you said you took things too seriously, because you have so much experience with the Andretti Autosport group. I mean, you've essentially grown up in this sport with them. Was it just the IndyCar experience, the sponsor, all the things that were going well?
Nothing to do with anyone but myself. No one can be harder on me than I am myself. It doesn't matter what people write or say. At the end of the day, I'm the one that's my biggest critic and the one that puts the most pressure on myself. So I think that was the issue. I was just burying myself each weekend, like just trying to, get yourself out of a rut that you kind of put yourself in. So, I think that's the thing. It's just, we had the year where we were a bit too conservative. Last year we were a bit too aggressive. So we just need to take a step back and find that middle ground. And I felt like we were getting there towards the end of the year. I mean, Portland was really good until we got taken out at the start. Laguna, we just missed it in the race. We literally started the car like 6 flats too low. So I spent the entire race bottoming. Like my back was bleeding by the end of it because we were bottoming so hard. So we just couldn't go forward with the car the way that it was there. So just a lot of things out of our control last year, a lot of things that we didn't do well. So just do a reset, man. It's obviously we've done it before, so we know how to do it. I just need to be in the right place to do it. So that's the main thing.
Questions? Bruce?
Talking about Mark, he seems to be very methodical, calculated. How much does that really help?
It's been awesome. The thing I like about Mark is he's worked a lot with the younger drivers that, kind of the engineers and Indy Lights are used to, and it's, okay, what's your biggest problem and how can I make it easier for you? It's not, okay, this is the setup that's quick, you're going to go out and run this. Because at the end of the day, I don't drive like Alex because a lot of people can't. I mean, Ryan even struggles with it, and so does Colton, because Alex likes to be, half backwards every corner. So it's nice to have, this relationship with Mark where it's a little more just self-centered on, let's not think too much about what everyone else is doing. Let's think about what you want to feel, what you need, and then we'll go out there and beat them with our own things. So I'm really looking forward to that, because that's not exactly the environment I had last year. It was very, this is what the car is, you need to figure it out. And it's like, well man, we have 40 minutes to figure it out. It's just kind of hard to put all the pieces together. So I think it'll be a much better year. So it'll be good for everyone.
Questions?
Are you more neutral, or are you loose, or are you?
I mean, the car has to be on the free side to be fast, obviously. But I'm just looking for a little more feeling out of the rear, like in. I want to be able to lean on the rear just a bit more. kind of talked with like guys like Dario, who just like it to be a little more on the understeery side. So I think that's just been me because that's the cars I grew up driving. The old Indy Lights car was notorious for just never turning. So yeah, I just want a little more confidence in the rear because I've always drove to what I think the car can do and what the limit is, and Alex spends most of his time way beyond that. And it works for him, but I like to be a bit more methodical with it. And I think we understand that, so it should be a much better year. I think that's why the ovals were always better for us too, because that was the one event that we'd go to, and it's like, okay, the rear needs to be better, and then it was just an easier day for me.
Further questions? Les?
Third year with Andretti, obviously the relationship is good and you're performing well. What's it going to be like this year from a relationship amongst the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's just goes normal, right? I mean, the only thing that's different this year is next year's not guaranteed. So luckily with my sponsor, Gainbridge, I do know they are the presenting sponsor of the Indy 500 for this season and the next 2 years following. So, they're committed to be in this sport for a few more years, so hopefully that commitment continues with me at the end of this year. It's not even something that we've been too concerned about. We haven't really brought it up and talked about the future just yet because we just want to get the season started, get to Indy, and then once we get closer to that, okay, we need to make a decision, we'll start bringing those important talks back into everything.
Nathan?
You mentioned that for you next year is not necessarily guaranteed. When you've had a season where you felt like you were maybe a little bit too conservative or taking too many risks in another one, how does that mindset play into this third season where you're trying to find that middle ground but also have that in the back of your mind?
I feel like I always have been better when next year is not guaranteed though, because then you're driving for everything each weekend and it has to be controlled still. When you have a bit of that fallback, that's a bit of comfort that I don't like to have, really. But, we'll just treat it as everything else. I mean, every Indy Lights year that we went into, nothing was guaranteed the next year, so it's that same mindset of, look, I just got to do the best I can with what I have and make every opportunity count, and at the end of the year, hopefully all those add up to a reason to be here the next.
Bruce?
What did John Andretti mean to you?
John was, it's funny because I didn't know John as the driver. I went to his service in Indy on Thursday, and everyone's telling stories about all of his NASCAR races, and it struck me that I never appreciated him for the driver that he was because he never talked to me about that side of things. John was just always so positive on the personal side. Anytime I was at shop, especially if I was having kind of a rough go of things, he'd always just make time to sit and talk with me for 15, 20 minutes, and he just always made it apparent that he believed in me. And yeah, I always really appreciated that. And that was just John as a person. I mean, it's sad to say, even at the service, you're paying your respects and, you're saying your condolences to everyone. And Nancy, his wife, the first thing she said was, "I'm glad that you're here. John thought you had so much potential." And it's like, you just know that he cared, and that's a really big thing. So the world's definitely for loss of a better person without John, but for me especially, I want to make sure that his legacy lives on for what he was trying to do so brave with the check it for Andretti. I'm still a little young on that side, but I want to make sure that continues because it's one of the last things that he was so passionate and caring for that it should continue.
All right, we'll take the last one here from Nathan.
You've shown us some inside looks into your van building this offseason. Why was that something that you wanted to pursue this offseason? What's that been like, and what's it been like to kind of have that project to pursue this offseason?
Yeah, so for those that you don't know, Honda doesn't make a van, so I had to buy a ProMaster. So the outside of my life, outside of motorsports, I love rock climbing. So a lot of the climbers, professional climbers, they live out of a van because they can travel from place to place following the weather. So I talked about this since I was 18, and then I finally had the amount like, reasonable disposable income to pursue this. And, I just turned 25, so a lot of it was on my girlfriend too. She's like, look, man, we don't have kids. You're young. Maybe we should probably do it if we're going to do it. So, and it was just nice to have a project to get my mind off everything. So it's about 5 months so far of work, and it should hopefully be done right before St. Pete. So, yeah, it'll be fun. I'm going to bring it to the campground at Mid-Ohio at Road America, because I want that fan experience, because they always seem like they're having such a fun time. So.
Very good.
Last one.
Last question.
Yeah, sorry, I'll make it short.
El Capitan?
Yeah, I've actually fallen off El Capitan. I got like a scar on my leg up here from last September. So El Cap's my goal. I've climbed Half Dome, so that's 2,000 feet. El Cap is 3, but much harder. When I do El Cap, I'll probably spend 2 or 3 nights sleeping on the wall to get to the top. So that's my goal after this season. We're gonna show up with a big wall rack and a portaledge, and we're gonna try to get to the top. So we'll see. But that's the dream. That's the goal. So thank you guys.
Enjoy your day.
Appreciate it.